My name is Robert Krell. I'm affiliated presently as a professor emeritus of psychiatry with the University of British Columbia. And I'm also the founder of the Vancouver Holocaust Education Center that teaches 20,000 students annually about the Holocaust and how to counter prejudice, racism, and anti-Semitism. I met Zev in the late 1970s. I had initiated an audiovisual project and taped my first Holocaust survivors in 1978 and 79, period. I was lonely in that project and discovered that Zev Weiss was taping audiovisual testimony in the Chicago area, and that my friend and colleague psychiatrist Dory Laub at Yale University with Jeffrey Hartman were doing the same, period. Within several years, we were having regular meetings at Yale University where the archives called the Fortunoff Archives finally developed. We had a bond, a comradeship, a friendship that lasted until his passing. Zev, because he was a friend, invited me to join the Lessons and Legacies conferences that he founded, and I probably was the only outsider in a group of 150 historians at that time to attend the first Lessons and Legacies conference and many thereafter. The first one, I believe, was in 1989, at which Professor Shaul Friedlander spoke. And in that audience was Arthur Butz, the Holocaust denier, and they engaged in a brief conversation that I shall never forget. We were asked for memorable stories about Zev Weiss. There are countless memorable stories, but I will share one. He was on a Chicago bus, and a lady thought that he was Elie Wiesel. And as Zev always told me, he says in his usual wonderful humor, he said, "Actually, I do look a lot like Elie Wiesel, but I think I'm the taller, more handsome version." There is a facial resemblance that they shared. And despite his protests, the lady insisted that he was Elie Wiesel. I said, "Zev, how did you finally resolve the fact that you couldn't tell her you weren't?" She said, "You are Elie Wiesel and simply too modest to acknowledge that." He says, "So I signed her shopping bag," and he got out of that situation. What you should know is the quality and depth of his dedication and his friendship, his loyalty. Zev came out of Auschwitz at age 14, and when he finally pulled his life back together again, became a teacher at a Jewish school, and embarked on this mission of gathering testimony and teaching. And through the Lessons and Legacies conferences, I am sure he touched the hearts and minds of thousands of professors, and in turn, tens of thousands of students. He was a remarkable man. I met with him regularly through the years, at least annually, in Palm Springs, where he and Alice vacationed, and Zev and I would share a brunch and catch up on all the things that united us. I am going down to California this year, and I shall miss him.